Now it's time to learn to make a pom-pom. I have already done one here. You can do different styles of pom-pom. For example, I've done a rounder, even larger fluffy one here. This one is more mid-sized because what I want to do is add 3 pom-poms here instead of 1 big pom and 2 small poms. So you can do them in any kind of size. So what I'm going to show you now is how to do a double colored pom-pom, and then I'll also show you how to do a single colored pom-pom in both large and small size. So let's get started. This pom-pom, I'm going to be using these 2 colors, my green and yellow. I'm going to start by unraveling them and having them on the table so that they're not knotted together. Once you have your 2 ends, for a double colored pom-pom, you're going to take the 2 ends and we're going to create a hand shape like this where you have your 4 fingers. You're going to put these across and you're going to wrap these around. Wrap about 20 times for a medium to large sized pom-pom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, stretches out, 11, 12, 13, stretches out, 14, 15. If you get any tangles like this, give them a shake. Don't pull tightly, but just give the milk yarn a shake to let it loosen up, and it will be fine. 16, 17, 18. I'm going to pull this. Here we go. 19, 20. Now once we're at 20, we're going to take scissors and snip these here. 1, 2. You don't have to be precious about making them perfect. And whilst this is on your hand, take your scissors again and snip about a 15 centimeter piece of one of the colors. Now, you're going to take your 2 middle fingers and you're going to pull them out. There we go. So that your pom-pom is stuck to your index finger and your pinky finger. Now we're going to use this small piece to wrap a little knot around the center to bundle it all together. It'll be like a little bow. So take this and slide it through with your other hand. Push it through. When you get here, you can make a knot like that. If you have a partner or a roommate or a friend or anyone around who can do this for you, it does make it a little bit easier, but honestly, it's not too hard. I find using my thumb there is the easiest way to grip it. Once you've got a loose tie like this, you can pull it gently off your fingers. So you have this little bundle. Now that you have your bundle, you want to make this roughly in the middle. So I'm shuffling it lower. That's pretty much in the middle for me, maybe slightly more that side. That's in the middle. So once I'm happy with the positioning, I'm going to take my 2 ends and I'm going to give it a proper tight tie. I'm going to double or even triple knot this just to make sure it's very secure. Give it a big tug. Yeah, one more. Why not one more? And there we go. Now we're at this section, you're going to take your scissors and we're going to cut all of the loops to make a pom-pom strands. Do section by section because your scissors might not snip through all of them at once. since it is so thick. Don't worry about making it perfect. If you miss any bits, it's fine. Loops like that, go in and snip them. Couple loops. Checking. All good. Now, this next session, I'm going to hold on to my tails and look at the shape of the pom-pom. At this stage, you're going to start trimming. First step is quickly trimming all of the super extra long bits. So very quickly. There. They're all relatively the same now. And this is the step, if you want to make your pom-pom shaggy, this is where we're going to do it. The difference you can tell is this pom-pom is all shaggy and loose, whereas this pom, it looks almost like a little bundle of seaweed. What makes that happen is this milk yarn is actually made up of lots of smaller pieces of yarn if you split it out like this. And to make it look shaggy in this way, we're going to take a needle and we're actually going to split all of these pieces so that they have that fluffy look to them. To create this effect, you're going to take your plastic weaving needle and you're going to go through and you're going to split all of your pieces. It's almost like combing it through. If you have a little comb handy, like an afro comb or one of those combs that has a few plastic sections to it, that would help. That would definitely help. I'm going to re-tighten my middle section because I actually feel like there's a bit too much give. So what I'm going to do is take this, I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to tie another double knot. It's exactly what we did the last time. I'm going to tie it super tight this time. Oh, super tight. And this is just going to pinch in. There we go. Let's continue. Do this. Comb out. Comb out each one, just like this. I'm going to stop here for a second and show the comparison between the fluffy version and if you leave it not fluffy and shaggy. So these are mostly all split. They create this kind of fluffy, fun vibe. And on this side, this kind of section I have left bare, and you can see that it almost looks like seaweed or something like that. Now it's totally up to you what you prefer. You can leave them like this if you want to have a different look, or you can make them all fluffy like this if you want them to look extra shaggy. Completely up to you. I'll see you when this is finished. Okay, I'm back and my pom-pom is pretty much all nice and fluffy. So this is the proper trimming stage. What you're going to do is take your loops and hold your pom-pom by the loops tightly and bring all of the sides together like this. Once you have it like this, you can take your curved scissors here. This is where they come very in handy. And we're going to trim the whole pom-pom. Shave it down. Trim it down as much as you like. check to see what it looks like. There we go. You can see I've left a couple of these unshaggy. So this is where you'll do all your little adjustments of your pom-pom until you're happy with how it looks. Remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. You can stop at any stage because the whole idea is that you want it to look beautiful and organic and lush and like real moss. And the great thing about nature is that it doesn't look absolutely pristine and perfect. Have you ever seen neat moss? No. But you just want to make sure that you're happy with it. You can keep it as long as you like. The shorter that you trim it, the more thick and sort of tufted together the appearance will be, versus the longer sections, because there's more space for it to move around, it will look more fluffy, kind of like this, where it's wavy and there's lots of space. So I'm going to do a few more trims of these long bits, and then I am happy with that because I don't want to overcook this pom-pom. I just want it to look fluffy and organic and beautiful. There we go. I am happy with that. Let's clean up and I'll see you when we're attaching your pom-pom. Now it's time to attach your pom-pom. I am going to be putting my pom-pom here because I want to create this balance of large pom-pom, little tiny pom-pom in between them, and then these bubbles on this side. So just decide where you want to place it. You can put it anywhere. You can put it right in the center. You could use one of these. We've kind of given you space so that you can put pom-pom there if you like. You could put some bubbles there. I think I'm going to put my pom-pom there though and fill up that space. So I'm going to take my little tails and I'm going to decide where I'm going to hook on my pom-pom, and using my latch hook, I'm going to thread these tails through. I think the pom-pom should go roughly there. So I'm going to take my latch hook, push it through, and I'm going to pull in one of the tails. Only one, you don't want both. Ooh. There you go. Pull it through just like that and hold on to it so that it doesn't fall back out again. Now take your latch hook again and you're going to grab the other tail, making sure you're pulling it through a different bar of the canvas. You don't want both of them in the same little canvas square, otherwise your pom-pom's not going to stay put. So you can see I've got one tail that side, one tail that side, and I am just going to tie these together and tie a big old strong knot. One, make it really tight. Two, and then three. Once I'm happy with that, take your scissors and we'll give it a trim so it's not in the way, but I'm still going to leave some tails. And there we go. Once we're here, you can organize your bubbles. I like that. I think that's perfect. Now I'm going to make a single colored pom-pom to put just here. It's going to work exactly the same as this, except instead we're going to use one instead of two strands. You're going to take, same as before, across 4 fingers and wrap around double the amount that we did. So if I wanted to make a pom-pom as big as this, I would do 20, but I actually want to make it a little bit smaller, so I'm going to do 12 instead. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then because I want it to be, well, this we use 2 strands instead of 1, I'm going to count 12 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Oh, I've got a little tangle. If you get a tangle, that's fine. Just loosen it up. I recommend detangling the whole section first and de-knotting it before you do what I'm doing. Don't know. There we go. I don't know where I was up to. 8 maybe, 4, 8. Let's do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why not? 1 more. And now I'm going to trim it. And I'm going to cut a piece of this to use together. And take my 2 middle fingers. There we go. And do a knot just like we did on the other one. There we go. Now slide off your fingers and check your bow. You want it to be roughly in the center. Once you're happy with the positioning, take this. To that side and give it a really, really tight, big, as tight as you can. Time. And then if you're worried about it slipping through, you can actually go around to the other side again, so you're kind of doing it tightly on both sides. Now when you've tied it tightly, it's time to snip the loops, just like we did with the previous one. It's all exactly the same steps. And now we're going to trim it. Trim all the super loose ones. Make sure it's round. Now, I know I mentioned it before, but if you are happy with this look, you can tie it down right now, or you can give it a trim, or you can make it fluffy like this, completely up to you. I am going to trim this down a little bit further because I want it to be smaller than this style. To do this, I'm going to take my pom-pom, ball it into a fist so that the strands are closer, and I'm going to snip them so they're all roughly the same size. And there we go. I'm going to tie this on now because I want this to have this more seaweedy-like effect instead of the fluffy effect. And I'll see you when it's all tied on. And here you go. Now you have your pom-poms done. We have our full pom-pom, and then we have our shaggy pom-pom here. If you ever get bits like this, it seems too long, you can trim it at any point.
Okay, so with this second variety of pom-poms, I'm going to be showing you how you can do a contrasted center tie. This one is going to be a mini pom-pom, so I'm wrapping it around 25 times around my fingers instead of the previous ones where I've done roughly 50 loops around my fingers. So once I've done the 25, I'm snipping it off, and then I am going to tie this bright kind of contrasted milk yarn around the middle instead of the same white color like I've done in the previous ones. This will mean that when your pom-pom is all finished, you'll see that little flash of orange in the center, and to me it feels a bit like a flower. So now just continue finishing your pom-pom and wrapping it in the same way, just like you have your previous ones, but this time using your bright orange contrasting yarn, or you can use any other colors you like as well. Now the last step for this pom-pom is to give it a really good trim. I'm going to trim this quite a bit more than the other pom-poms we've done so far, just because I want it to be short and I want that contrasting middle to stand out a little bit more. And so I'm going to trim it a fair bit so that it's roughly an inch or so in length, and you can really see that middle orange part shine. Now for our final version of our pom-poms, we're going to be doing a mini looped flower. To do this, we're going to be using 2 fingers instead of 4, and I'm going to be wrapping it around 10 times around my finger. When you're doing it around 2 fingers, you want to leave a really small gap in between your fingers, just so it allows you to get your contrasting color thread through your fingers to tie the middle knot section. As you can see here, I'm going to split my fingers just a little bit. Sometimes it's easier to bend one of your fingers to get that little piece of yarn through so that you could wrap it around. But once you have it in there, you want to give it a little knot to keep it secure and then slide the pom-pom off your finger. Because it's quite a tight space that you're working with when you have 2 fingers, don't worry about making it perfectly centered. You kind of just want to get that contrasting color of loop around so that it's secure, and so that when you do slide the little loops off your fingers, you know that you're not going to lose the loops that you've made. So give them a tug to get them off your fingers, and there you go. Once you have them off your fingers, you just want to center it so it kind of looks like a bow, and so that that little tie off is centered within the bow. Then you're going to give it a tug to secure it. And then the very last step of your loop flower is just to double those tails that you're tying up. You want to wrap them around a couple times just so that they're super visible from the front of your little looped flower. And that's it. That's all you need to do for your tiny little flowers. Okay, now I'm going to be showing you how to attach your pom-poms. In this example, I'm doing it with our flower patch coaster once I've already pre-made some of the pom-poms. However, the same technique is used no matter what section of your coaster or rug you're at. So to attach your pom-poms, you're going to want to take the long tails that you use to tie up the middle and use your latch hook to draw those tails through the back of your canvas. Now, it can be a little tricky to pull them through, but bring them through. It doesn't matter if you're coming through your woven green grass or whether you're coming through just the back of the plain canvas. Either way will work. You're just going to bring those tails through and then tie them with a few knots at the back to keep it secure. And that's it. It's as simple as that. You can then add your other pom-poms of different sizes and shapes around. It's always nice to pop them next to each other and see what you prefer. And then when you're happy with the arrangement, you can pull those tails through just like I'm doing now, bring them to the back and tie them in a little loop. Now for this next example, I'm attaching it to the sections that are already done on the back of the coaster, and that's also totally fine. It works in the exact same way. So as you can see, I'm flipping over the back, I'm pulling down those orange tails just like I did before, but this time I'm kind of squeezing them through the existing pom-poms and in between the little bobbles that we did at the beginning of your coaster. But it works in the exact same way. Just use your latch hook to pull those tails through and then give them a nice double knot at the back. Now for the very last section, I'm just going to show you an alternative method of weaving your tails through using a weaving needle instead of your latch hook. This can be handy if you're popping your pom-pom in a section where there's already a lot of other bulky elements there and it can be hard to fit your latch hook through. Otherwise, it works in the exact same way. You weave your tails through the end with the needle and then you give it a nice tight knot at the back. And that's all there is to it.